Alright, today's video, I'm going to try out these eBay LED off-road lights. I believe I paid $23 for them. I'll look back at the auction. And then I had to buy a wiring harness kit. That wasn't included with these. That was another $11. So around $32, $33. About the same price as Harbor Freight off-road lights. I bought those 6 or 7 years ago for my last van, and back in the day there was no LED lights for that cheap. So now in 2020 we got LED lights for cheap. The question is, how good are they? We're gonna find out right now. Oh yeah, and they're adjustable. So I already put this together, so there you go. That's how you adjust it. And then when you find your setting, you just tighten down all the bolts. Alright, hooking it up now. I have the clamps just loosely on the battery. I have it all wired. Here's the test. It works. Alright, now to wire it. Since these are being installed in a van, all I have to do is unhook this, the doghouse, and then I'll have access to the engine bay and the wires. So I'm going to unhook this right now. Since I'm doing this in a van, all I had to do was unhook the doghouse engine access cover. If you're a regular on my channel, you know I roll with the V10, and this is the best look you'll get of the V10. I'm going to wipe up the valve covers a little more, but that's it right there. V10 in there somewhere. Alright, so I'm just going to tape this wire under the dash, and then I'll have access to the switch. Put the dog house back in, clamp it back in. Here's a spot for the switch right here. Just use the step drill and that'll plug right in. Here's the switch, neat install, and then I hid the wires in the trim, and this plug is for my ultra gauge right there. Here's the last part, getting the wires to the lights. I'm gonna go from behind here under the grill into the lights. I've always done my wires this way. One of my first mods as a teenager was fog lights, so I've always just crimped my wires together like this. They never gave me issues. You're probably going to want to do it more professionally, and that's fine. I'm just crimping them like I did when I was a kid. Zip tied the relay onto the battery handle. There's a fuse right there, and then I just used the exposed wires, just clamped it onto the batteries. That's it. Close this up. We're good to go. The wiring is tucked into the bumper, and then there's a wiring right there going through here, so I just routed it into there. Here's the relay. I just zip tied it to the handle. Here's the fuse, and then it's attached here through the posts. That's it, simple. And then this wire, where is it? Right there. This wire is going into the interior, into the switch. So that's how I have my lights hooked up. Nighttime test of the eBay off-road LED lights. Here's a spot that's almost complete darkness. You can see a little light from the freeway, but this is the darkest spot that I can find. Here are the stock lights right here. High beams. Turn this off. And here are just the off-road lights.
They go out wider, they light up the ground brighter, and they go up higher. So significant difference than the high beams. So here we go, high beams right there, high beams off, off-road lights, high beams with the off-road lights, off-road lights off, and then we're gonna just have the high beams. See, they go up really high. Hopefully the camera picks that up. So turn that off. So here are just the off-road lights right here. Off-road lights off and normal lights. So hopefully the camera picks that up. So these cost around $22. I'll pull up my eBay listing. Here's another spot right here. You can see light right there, but let's aim at these semi-trailers right here. Okay, normal light right there, high beams, lights off, eBay LEDs right there. eBay LEDs with the high beam, eBay LEDs with the regular light, eBay LEDs off, and now I'm just on normal light. So I'll pull up the listing of these LED lights with the wiring harness that you'll need. This did not come with the wiring harness, so I had to buy that separately, so that delayed my install. But even with the wire harness, it came out to around $33 off the top of my head. Harbor Freight Roadshock off-road lights, they cost $28 if you use the 20% off coupon. They're about $24, and these are way better than the Harbor Freight lights. I got the Harbor Freight lights 6 or 7 years ago, and 6 or 7 years ago there wasn't many LED lights available for cheap. Now in 2020, LED lights are really cheap, and these are probably twice as bright as the Harbor Freights. So for the money, I'd get these. I also like that they're metal. I didn't mention that they're metal in my install video. So yeah, these lights are the casing's metal, which I really like. Here's another dark spot right here. So lights off, there you go. Off-road LEDs only right here. LEDs off, normal lights. So hopefully you could see that comparison. Supposedly they last 50,000 hours, something like that, but I haven't installed, so that if these break, I could easily just put in a new set of lights. The way I splice them, it's easy to take apart, so if these do malfunction early, it's easy for me to just put a new set of lights in. And for this price, it's not really gonna bother me if these malfunction soon. I don't use off-road lights much, but if I ever do, I mean, you know, I have them. If I'm ever out in the desert at night, I'm leaving at night, and maybe I'll need lights for 30 minutes at most. So yeah, I just put in a light bar. I might as well, you know, put lights on a light bar. I just can't have a light bar. I wanted the light bar on my van because they look cool, so I might as well put in lights. So this is an industrial area, so here we go. Normal lights right here, off-road lights right there. So you get an idea of what they look like. Hopefully the camera picks them up. Is that a coyote? I think that's a coyote. That's a coyote right there. Oh, hopefully you see it. Oh, that was a coyote. I don't know if you guys could see that. So for the price, get these over the Harbor Freights. Hopefully they do last 50,000 hours. If that's the case, that's a great deal. And I'm really impressed with how bright they are. If you get 4 of these, if you have a rooftop roof rack and with a light bar, you know, light attachments with the roof rack, these will be really bright. I'm surprised how bright they are just using 2. I'm just using 2 right now. I'm gonna U-turn, see if I could see that coyote. All right, so I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm really impressed with these lights for the money. Same price as the Harbor Freights. They're really bright, twice as bright as the Harbor Freights. The question is, do they last long? They do have a metal casing. The Harbor Freights don't have a metal casing. They're plastic, and those lasted me a long time. So I wanted to try out something different, some LEDs. And these are 160 watts. The Harbor Freights are 100 watts. These are 160, so they draw more power than the Harbor Freights. So, you know, I was expecting them to be brighter, especially with LED technology. So there you go. eBay LEDs. Really bright, really impressive for what they are. Regular lights. High beams. eBay LEDs. eBay LEDs and high beams.